welcome to Gimmickast, where we're just shit at everything.
Yeah, that sounds alright.
Yeah, that worked.
Yep.
So, if you don't know what we're referring to, the audio quality and video quality of our last episode was just goddamn awful. I'll let Zane explain more because he was at the editing end of that, so...
Yeah, so first things first, I forgot to change my OBS recording software, because it lets you change how high the desktop audio can go up. I had it set to -19.
Oh yeah, because you were playing video games and you needed to be quiet for editing purposes.
Yeah.
I remember this.
And then I used the wrong resolution when doing the video. So instead of doing it in 480p, I set it to the lowest one possible, which is I think 120p.
Like 240. Oh,
No.
that's even worse. That's even worse.
So yeah, we caught that up, but it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, also quick disclaimer. He's talking about to his children again.
Yes. They just got home from school.
Yes.
I'm recording. Please be quiet.
Yeah. Lesser known fact known about Ethan is that he's actually married. Because I said
I'm working on someone.
Because
No. I know what you said.
Yeah, because I said he has children. So... No, it's his brothers. It's fine. Anyway, so quick disclaimer: this is going to be very short on the Yu-Gi-Oh news. We're gonna talk about Phantom Rage when it comes closer to its release, but we'll talk about a bit.
We spent so much. Yeah, mainly because we've been spending all this time on these single cards, and it kind of clunks up the episodes. We'll still do whole archetype reveals when we do boxes and stuff now further on, but when it's just single card releases, I think we'll probably just leave them to a whole set review later on.
Yeah, with the exception of a few cards, if they're really good and we need to talk about them. In this case, we do have that. But yeah, anyway.
Yes.
I think the thing we should talk about first before we get into the creat-a-card project is how the Rise of the Duelists release has panned out so far.
I'm surprised. Okay, not only initially when it first came out, there was a bunch of people buying it. Now there's just no one buying it.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know. I think because everyone's got all their things they want, which is the Dragma stuff, and that's about it.
And even then, we haven't seen a lot of impact of Dragma. I mean,
Not
it's kind of hard to see because...
Yeah, because we don't have official events.
Yeah, and then also, YouTubers aren't really talking about it either, so it's kind of what's happening?
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a weird and mixed bag, to be fair. The fair that the most expensive I've seen for the cards, outside the Starlights, just going to the Gimmicks Super Secret Rares, is the Dragma Searcher. And then I think above that, it's either Forbidden. It's that one where you have to discard cards to negate up to that number of cards.
Yeah, what are they sitting at right? No, they're sitting in the $20 range though, aren't they?
No, the search is $50 on the USD market.
Okay, that's not too bad.
And I think Tactical Talents is 60.
Okay, there we go.
But yeah. It's just been a weird panning out. I thought I thought Dragma would at least be a little bit more expensive, but that kind of hovering around where I would sort of expect him to be at right now, which is 20-30.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to judge, and I think that even Yu-Gi-Oh, the Pro and stuff like that, they're kind of just sitting there we don't really know. We expect them to be this. But we don't know.
Yeah. Did we talk about last? Oh yeah, we did talk about last week. Just the probably didn't hear it or watch it because the video was horrible. Do we want to talk about New On again? Because I feel like it's worth bringing up again, especially because it's getting slightly closer to the ban list now.
Not really. Everyone knows what Numeron is by now.
Yeah, but can we just talk about how it's like being splashed into the most disgusting shits possible, like guru control?
Oh yeah, it's splashed into everything.
Oh my god,
It's disgusting.
it's horrible. You know what? And talking about disgusting things, we got the TCG equivalent of the structure deck polls. We got the 2020 creat-a-card project. So, it's pretty much we have to pick the 16 themes, and then pretty much whoever ends up with is like a tournament bracket as well. That's the thing. And then whoever,
Yeah, it's weird, but I also like it.
yeah, pretty much how a deck moves up in the bracket is by voting them. So like they'll put two decks against each other. Whoever wins that moves on. The other one, you know. But you have to remember that one. This is for a single card of support. So it's not like a structure deck where we're getting at least 5 new cards and really good reprints.
No, it's one card. But I bet you they're gonna use the others as inspiration, like depending on their placement anyway. Like they do with the structure deck. Like they don't just like give a structure deck to the first place, they give it to like second and third.
Yeah.
Like it would make sense. I bet you the creat-a-card thing was just kind of a ploy. Like, oh hey, we're gonna make stuff and then see what happens.
Yeah. So, do we want to talk about the themes? Because these themes are, like, half of these I wouldn't even expect to be on here.
Sure.
Let's talk about bracket
I
A,
mean-
because we can just, from bracket A, we can just jump into whoever won that. Because it's that part is already been voted for. So the bracket A is Weathery versus Gradle.
Yep.
I voted Weathery.
I didn't vote because I forgot to.
Okay, because
Sorry.
yeah, the voting's on Twitter, by the way. For the official Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes.
Konami account, yeah. So, you want to know who won?
Who is it?
The Weathers.
Really?
Yeah. His thing. I don't like Gradles. They're a piece of shit archetype for pussies. They like to steal shit. If I want to do that,
Yeah.
I'll play Charmers. They were just kaijus before we got kaijus. It's boring. But yeah, it was actually kind of close. Like, Gradle had 43.3% of the votes.
Okay, so they had a big chunk. It wasn't like just a landslide.
Yeah. And then the Weathers had 56.7, but yeah. So the Weathers are moving on. We're not getting Gradle support. We should all be happy about that.
I guess. Next bracket into bracket B is Dynamists and Lightsworn.
Yes. I want Dynamis to win this one. But his thing...
I do as well.
His thing, people... There's probably more Lightsworn fans.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth.
Yeah, but... Do you know what I also realised? Why they're called Dynamist? The Robo Dinos that spray mist, and I didn't get it until I looked at this card, and I went, oh shit,
God.
I didn't realise this. I thought it was like a cool name, like Transformers. You know? Like,
I mean, that works.
it's like Optimus Prime. He doesn't need to be called He doesn't need the Prime part, but it's there because it sounds cool.
Yes.
That's what I thought it was like, but no, they actually spray mist.
No.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
And then bracket C is this one's obvious. It's Valkyrie versus Insectors. Insectors are gonna win.
Oh yeah, there's so much fan support for Insectors over Valkyries. And not to mention, like,
Don't forget the
Valkyries
Kamen
aren't
Riders.
really interesting.
Don't forget the Kamen
What?
Rider. Don't forget the Kamen Rider fans.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. They'll come in. They won't play the game. They'll just come in and vote Insectors anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be more nostalgia for Insect. Like, while there's obviously a lot of Duel Monster nostalgia for Valkyries, I think just the sheer amazingness of Insectors is just gonna make it win.
Yeah.
And
it's the truth.
and then the next one is Sylvan versus Cyber Angel.
I feel like Cyber Angel is gonna like win just because the new Ritual archetype Draytons came out, and I think people are like, let's have more Ritual sport and see what happens.
Exactly. I think Cyber Angels would win this just due to what's been recently released. But at the same time, I kind of want to see what they would do with like one card for Sylvan. So,
Yeah, that's true.
because Sylvan is
Um,
like the progenitor to like weird like stack and mill decks.
you're not wrong, and it would be interesting to see what they do, but
Yeah,
we're
not
not gonna
happening.
know.
Okay, alright, this is a big one.
Uh,
Fire Kings.
yes, I was gonna say it.
Okay, you do it.
Keep going. You've already ruined it.
Fire
Go on.
Kings and X Saber. I want Fire Kings to win.
To win.
They're so shit, but I want them to win.
They're
Like,
so fun though.
yeah, that's the thing, but they get shit on by like Cold by the Grave, Necro Valley, Dimensional
Yes.
Fissure. So I think likely people are just gonna vote X Saber.
That's true. As for the next one, it's Fortune Ladies versus Hazy Flame.
Hazy Flame has to win. I don't want to see more Fortune Lady support. Cause
I mean, they gave us good support with the Fortune Ladies, but like, yes, I want to see Hazy Flame. How are they gonna fix Hazy Flame? A only level 6 archetype. How are they gonna fix it?
Yeah, but here's his thing. Here's the thing. If they get away with making Fortune Lady support, we're gonna get Fortune Fairy support, and I do not want to think about Fortune Fairies. So please let Hazy Flame win.
Hazy Flame, please.
Hazy Flame.
Hazy
Next one
Flame.
is Mermails versus Photon. Mermail's gonna win because people just love
Nobody's
playing.
gonna win.
Because everyone just loves playing Mermail, Atlantean, Deep Sea right now.
Yes. Not to mention, like, we got Photon support recently, so recently enough that
Yeah,
it just doesn't matter.
you don't need to make more Galaxy Eyes. Stop that, you.
We don't need no.
Ah.
Then for grouping H, we have TG and Frogs.
Frog.
Oh my god.
Frog's gonna win. Well, of course they put like
Frog's gonna win.
of course they put like the most like ideal cards people want in the first bracket by themselves as the last one. Like, come on,
Yes.
TGs have like is like the one was like at a time one of the best synchro decks, and then you got Fog,
Oh yeah.
and Fog's just a really good control deck of Paleos. So I think Fog's gonna
Yeah.
win. Like,
Frog's gonna win because everyone Frogs are fresh in everyone's mind as that deck that survived long enough to be just called legendary. Like TGs, they had the synchro. Like their most notable thing is TG Hyper Librarian, which
Yeah.
was abused in Synchro Spam, and that was about it. Like yes, they had a moment in the sunlight, but like they were overshadowed by Synchro Spam. So like, Frogs are gonna win.
okay, but here's the thing. Let's make an overall prediction now. Who's gonna win the entire like tournament? Because I have my money on Fog. I think Fog has enough like love behind it to go all the way.
Yes, especially okay. So how are they doing this? They're going straight into G versus H, I assume.
Yeah,
I am
that's
assuming.
yeah. So whoever wins
Yeah, no,
A and
Frog's
B,
gonna
will
win.
fight.
Frog's gonna win by proxy. Okay, because like, Frog up against Mermail or Photon, Frog will win. Frog versus either Hazy Flame, Fortune Fairy, X Saber, Fire King. It will win against in that matchup. Literally the only thing I think I see.
The only
is
thing there's a threat
Insecta
to it.
versus-
Yeah, the only threats are
Is-
Inzektor and Lightsworn. I want Inzektor to win. That's the thing. I want to see new Inzektor support. But here's the thing, it won't because
Absolutely.
Fog.
Fog exists. Why did they put Fog in here? Like they could have put anything else but Fog. We all know Fog's gonna win.
Yeah, exactly.
If it doesn't win, I actually will have my faith in humanity restored.
Yeah, Fog. I don't know. I want Inzectors to win the whole thing, but it's unlikely because at some point, Inzector, if it does get that far enough, it has to fight Lightsworn. And I think there's enough current Lightsworn players that will defeat past Inzector players. Because while Inzector
Yeah.
is a rather strong combo deck, it's a strong casual combo deck. That's the problem. You can't really run like it doesn't make insane boards as it used to, because
No.
take adamant factors for as like an example. Like that's a fragile combo deck, but the boards it makes are absurd in compared to Inzektor. It's legit the Inzektor of our era right now.
Yes.
It's just Inzektor's a 2-hour date, I think, and Lightsworn has more potential in this meta.
You're not wrong, especially since they are a graveyard deck that focus on milling their own cards. So,
And
like,
they also have cards like Judgment and Punishment.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah. So like, it's a really bad matchup, I think.
Yeah,
Like,
it's legit just Fog versus Lightsworn. That's my money.
was not a good, was not a good idea on Konami's part for this one.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess to finish off the year news, we're going to talk about the new Gizmek, which is Gizmek Maikoto, the Cutthroat Cyclone K9.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a level 6 Wind Machine. So, if you have 6 or more banished cards, you can normal summon this card without tributing. I like that effect already. And then, if this card is normal summon special summon, discard 1 monster. Add 1 monster from your deck whose attack is equal to its own defense.
Yes.
Except for Gizmek. You can't add the Gizmek card.
Except for, yeah. You can't
So it's a normal summon that can search, but it has to have the same attack as its defense stat. That's a bit of a weird condition. And then if this card...
no, you look at the Gizmic cards, they all have that stat line.
So this... Oh, so this is going to be a Gizmek searcher. Okay, then. Oh, so
yes.
if this card is in your monster zone... If this card in your monster zone is destroyed, it doesn't specify how it's destroyed. You can just pop it yourself if you want. You can shove exactly 6 of your banished cards into the deck.
Yes.
That's actually pretty good.
But you can only activate... It's a hard once for both the Surge and Pop effect.
Yeah. I think this is Grand Manju tech.
Yes, I mean, all Gizmek cards have been Grand Manju tech, but it's just become its own thing now. That it's just like, why not?
Yeah.
So.
That's about it. That's the only thing I see it for. Like, outside of decks that heavily rely on the Gizmex to work, it's just Grand Manju tech. I don't know, maybe you can see an Orcast? Orcast banishes a lot of cards.
They do.
Alright, well, what's the status on Gilkey?
He has not responded yet, so
He's
I
probably
think we move on to Xenonzard.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not?
What?
Yeah, I thought he's like, he's probably taking a nap. But yeah, alright, we'll talk about Xenonzard.
Yeah, because... So, do you want to start this off, or...?
Okay, sure. Let's begin with the fact that they recently gave out a free tree deck.
Which, not only... I counted all the legendaries you get from this.
It's a lot of legendaries, yeah. And
you get 6!
Yeah, no, it's good. And then I scrapped all the green cards.
It's really good.
I scrapped all the green cards to get the neutrals.
I know. Like, if you're building a deck right now, yeah, logging on and just getting that deck is just... It's good.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to build trees in the first place, good. You're set. You're effectively set.
Yeah, you have your base for green.
Yeah. And not to mention, there's a lot of generic, good generic green stuff in there anyway, outside of, you know, the tree stuff, so.
Exactly. And then, do we want to talk about how the meta's been shaping up recently? Because there's a lot more worm decks, sea worms, on the ladder recently, and I'm not a fan of it.
No, neither am I.
Just being...
But also, like, I think sea worms have just finally found that combo that makes them strong, but then also, like, they're a bit too late, because the next pack is coming. It's looming over us like a What's a good analogy? A T-Rex over its meal. There we go.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or a predator.
Oh, that's well good.
Hey!
Of course, Gilky comes in with the horrible analogy. Lovely.
As long as it's about children, that's all that matters.
For fuck's sake, you pervert.
It's about principle, not the deed.
Fucking hell, man. Not.
So anyway, I've been playing
Okay.
BSY. I might change to BS Blue depending on how good it turns out, because apparently the BS Blue support is like purely just a mill deck.
Yeah.
It's a mill deck.
Yeah,
that's
like,
the thing.
The good ones are BS Blue and BS Yellow. Those are the ones that are going to be the ones you got to watch out for. I don't know. Okay, because been having a look at. They haven't revealed much of the next pack. They've only really revealed the base units and their level up cards.
Yeah.
So
I still haven't got my summer skin yet, so I won't be opening up that pack. I will be only creating the cards I want from that pack. I want my summer skin.
that's fair enough. Like, I don't know whether I want the summer skin, because the summer skin for Wonder Call is just a sailor outfit.
Yeah.
Which is like, bleh.
I changed over
And,
to
like,
Charlotte recently, and I like hers. She has the fedora.
Yeah, no, hers looks nice.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me.
Yeah.
I have played enough white on my I forgot how to pronounce her name. Henia.
Yeah.
I played enough white on her that she's now innocent. So apparently white is. I thought white would be associated with like calm, but no, she's innocent now. It's weird because she's like she's not neat anymore. That's what I don't like. She's like, yeah, let's go out there and do our best. I'm like, no, you lose your appeal.
Whoa. How dare you have a social life?
Yeah, Gilky, is the thing with Xenozard is with your AI, if you play enough of a color, it will eventually become and develop its own personality associated with that color. So that's what's going on with Ethan's Rabbit. Because he played so much.
So it's just an angry fucking mascot bunny.
Don't touch it!
So if
Don't touch me!
If I play a black deck, does my bunny become black?
It doesn't count for neutral. It only counts for the other colors.
Oh, wait a second.
What
Black
color?
Lives.
Wait a second.
What color are you playing, Gilky?
Black Lives Matter.
God, this is a mistake. This is a
Fucking
mistake.
neutral people. Fuck.
But
Oh my God.
yeah,
Hello. Yes, I am recording.
Don't worry, I also joined in randomly.
it's fine.
I mean, it's not too bad. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a fun part of that game. That's just fun.
Yeah.
And other Xenonzard news, we have the new event that's going on, which is just basically an end of ranked season, like, reward ceremony, basically.
Yeah.
For those, I don't know, because the season isn't going to restart till the next pack comes out, whenever that is. So,
Yeah. But anyway, what was I was thinking of something before my brain went, yes, brain fart. Oh yeah, we can talk about league news now. If we're done.
oh yes, now we can move on to the bulk of this episode.
Yay! Okay, well, first things first, we should talk about Yone's release. I presume I'm the one who has taken the time to try him out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't actually played him in an actual game. Only been able to do a practice game with him because he's either getting banned or picked by tryhards. Mainly they're all like Yasuo players, which I'm not surprised because Yone, in my eyes, is just a revamped version of Yasuo. To begin with, I think he's a lot easier than Yasuo.
That's
Because-
fair.
Okay.
People would make the argument Yasuo's brain dead. I'm like, yeah, that is part of the argument. But the thing is, with Yasuo, with how his E works, it's kind of like a mini resource management thing with how his E works. Because once you E someone, you can't E them again for a couple seconds. So if you want to keep being mobile, you need to be like, you have to kind of plan out which targets you're going to E, and then what targets you're going to E to get back into safety. It's sort of like that.
Yeah, that's
With
fair.
Yone, you just press E, you just dash out, you can do whatever you want, and then he just recalls himself. Like, the only risk associated to that is the fact that, you know, where you teleport back is the where you left. So if you leave it in a vulnerable space, it's going to be very easy for someone to just be standing right next to that, and then you're forced to come back there, and you're vulnerable for like a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Another thing... Yeah.
Yep.
Another thing I don't like about him is that outside of just being, I think, much safer than Yasuo, because how his W works is very reactionary on terms of like, because it gets shield, but that shield only lasts 1.5 seconds at base. I don't think it increases. So it's a very reactionary sort of thing. But that shield can get really chunky if you hit enough champions in a team fight.
That's not a good thing.
On top of that, his Q, if you can just stack up 2 times, it effectively lets you dash over walls for free. And he's a manless assassin.
Disgusting.
He's a manless assassin on top of that.
It's disgusting.
Yone is what I hate about most assassins in League of Legends, which is there is no risk to them. They're extremely safe. Like, take Diana as an example. Diana has that massive fuck-off shield she can just do. Well, she used to be able to do that. But now that's tied to her ult. So, which is good. That's why I like...
Which was a good move.
Exactly, but then you got LeBlanc, who can just, like, she has those teleporting things. And on top, paired with high amounts of damage, she was an obnoxiously safe AP assassin. And AP assassins always has been disgusting in my eyes, because AP has a lot of, like, really good damage items that they can use.
Rabadons.
Yeah, Rabadons, fuck Rabadons. But then you have Yasuo, you have Yone, who's not only highly mobile, extremely safe, can also build crit. And his power spike comes as soon as he builds his first crit item, because just like Yasuo, he gets double the crit chance.
Christ.
Oh shit.
At the cost of he loses 10% crit damage. The thing is...
That's such a puny, like, negative compared to what he can do.
And here's the thing, because due to how his passive works, unlike Yasuo, where you can just build up armor against him and be somewhat safe, every second attack converts 50% of his AD damage that he does with that attack into magic. And that magic portion still crits. So, if he crits, half of that is AD, the other half is magic. So you kind of have to build for both now against him.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, but the other thing is, I find him he's a lot easier just due to how his Q works. I found him piss easy to play against like advanced Vise AI. He can just shit on mages, and that's Yone.
It's not a good.
Patch.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's just for an assassin. I don't like how he's really safe. Like, of course he has his downsides, mainly being the fact for his Q dash. He needs to land his Q 2 times first, a bit like Yasuo's Tornado. And then his E, at base, is a 22-second cooldown.
Okay, so not the worst.
Yeah, but still, again, his E also lets him, like, do 25% of the damage he casts while in his E form, again, because it's kind of like a death mark. But, again, Yone suffers the issue that I hate about most assassins, which is most of them are extremely safe. This is why I like assassins like Qiyana, because Qiyana, you kind of have to go all in, because you don't really have an escape option there.
No.
But Yone's... Yone is effectively just Katarina in my eyes. Well, not as annoying as Katarina. Katarina is disgusting in her own ways, but yeah. I want to talk about Yone once I have proper time to play him against actual people and maybe more playtime. So maybe next week we'll talk about Yone again. Maybe by then there'll be some hot fixes that nerf his damage and all that. Just right now, I think he's quite disgusting. So anyway, do we want to move on to a less depressing topic?
Yes.
Okay, do we want to talk about the new Sona Legendary?
Oh, the skin? Yeah.
Yes. This is another part where I get the talk again, because if you people don't know...
I'm just gonna, can I just say my opinion
Yes.
first? I don't like the voice.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't know. I don't really notice the difference. And I'm saying that as someone who has spent most of his game time playing Sona.
Fair enough.
But yet again,
It just sort of sticks out for me, and I'm like, it's hard to listen to, in my opinion.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, Gilky, you want to say anything about Sona before I get to have my say?
No, but I got a random fun fact. that
Okay.
happened today.
Okay, what is it?
I opened a chest and I got Dunk Master Darius, so I'm very happy.
Oh, good for you.
Yay!
Okay, so about the Sona thing. I also need to talk about the Sona VA, because Riot has been doing this thing where they make new legendary skins for old champions. Because they have that voice actor in there, they're like, yo, we should just re-record the lines for this old champion so they're not out of date. So Sona has also new voice lines. Yet again, most of them are lore references. To begin with, a thing I don't like is the fact I'm gonna miss old Sona's voice lines, because old Sona voice lines is like, while they're out of date, because it's still referred to the now debunked Summoners League, because she used to be like, only you can hear me, Summoner, and I'm like, oh, that made me felt special. Like,
yeah.
and then, but now she doesn't do that. She's still on mute, but I think she only still talks through telepath. I think telepath, which is weird.
Telepathy is the word.
Yep. The other thing we finally find out is that Sona is kind of like Xin Zhao, and we also find out how to properly pronounce Xin Zhao's name. But yeah, Sona's officially from Ionia.
Oh.
So yet again, and then we don't know how her new lore will pan out yet. I don't think it's officially been released. But people may think she still might be an orphan who was then adopted by a wealthy Demacian, and then that's how she ends up in Demacia. But then she also...
That could work.
A lot of her new voice lines are based around, like, emotions and changing. Like, there's Silas, and when she meets Silas, she's like, you have not changed at all, Silas. And my answer is still no, because, Silas's whole thing is he's gathering all these mages to revolt against Demacia, because Demacia is very anti-magic.
Yes.
And then there's also, like, Lux. And then there's like, Lux, don't worry, change will come soon. Because, Lux is a light mage from Demacia. So, it had a lot of voice lines for change, which I found interesting as an idea, and, yeah. For some reason, she also has an interaction with Ivalia.
Ooh.
And it references the restoration. Like, I haven't seen you since the restoration. This event has never been referred to before.
Like named or anything like that. Oh, that's interesting.
So, yet again, that might be tied into a new lore. Also, this is just another general thing. What they've been doing with the new updated interactions is they're trying to make all the cinematics they have made, like, over the years, like, even the really old ones that probably shouldn't be canon anymore, they're trying to make those canon now. So that's why Sona now has interactions with Rise about world ruins. Because they had a really old cinematic when Rise was at Demacia getting hunted by the Mage Seekers because he was looking for world ruins, and Sona ends up helping out Rise.
That's interesting.
So
I kind of like that though.
I like how they're doing that. They're making the old ones canon. But yeah, again, another cool thing is for some reason she has an interaction with Fiddlesticks.
Why?
Because there's a song in Demacia that she knows about Fiddlesticks, and she's like, when she sees Fiddlesticks, she's like, Fiddlesticks, this can't be real. Like, the songs can't be real. Because if you watch the Fiddlesticks, like, I think it's one of the Fiddlesticks videos about his development, they play a song, and then, like, it's kind of referencing that song, because that song is actually about Fiddlesticks, so it's like an in-game lore song about Fiddlesticks that the folks would tell about, and that's why Sona knows about Fiddlesticks because she knows that song. She's people think that she's the one that sung it for that video.
Ah.
So we're learning more about the demons and the Azakanas, which are the lowest form of demons, which I like. So I like this new idea they're doing with demons and all that. Okay. Okay.
Now to talk about the actual skin, I assume.
Psyops. Okay. Okay. I don't like it pre-level 6.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that now. I don't like how she's like bounded up and kind of gagged. It's a bit weird. But once she gets out, I'm like, that's a beautiful looking skin. Like, especially with the RGB.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I think it's a really well designed skin. Yet again, voice lines are interesting for this because a lot of Psyops Sona like interactions refer to characters, but to particularly skins that haven't been revealed yet.
Yeah, it's true.
We got because there's one for Victor, and then
Yes.
she also has interactions with the Arctic Ops skins.
Yes, she does, because she has one with Volibear.
Yeah, Volibear, and then there's some other unreferred Arctic Ops skins. So I think that after the Psyops skins, we're going to get a new set of Arctic Ops skins, which would be really nice, because the last one we had was a one-off for Gragas.
Yes, we did have one off for Gragas.
Yeah, but I'm curious, because, yeah, again, Arctic Ops hasn't really have its own lore yet. Because most other laws, they tie it in all together. Arctic Ops was still one of the weird laws that were off by itself. So if they tie Arctic Ops to Psyops, that could be interesting.
I mean, it would flesh out the skins a little bit more, I guess.
Yeah.
But...
Okay.
Zane?
Yes.
So the skin is called Psyops Sona, correct?
Yes.
Does anyone else think it looks like Sky Striker Ray?
No.
No.
Okay. Fair.
If anything, it looks more like Sky Striker Zeke.
Yeah.
Fair. But like, you can see where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah, I get you. Let me look up the other Psyops skins for...
I was tripping for a second.
Let me...
Wait.
Because we got some other ones, like a new... I think we got the new Prestige skin coming up for this set too, which is a bit...
God.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about some of the other weird, interesting interactions there is for the Psyops stuff? Like, Sona referring to Psyops Shen as, like, having a child? I'm like, the child. I'm like, what is the child? Like, that's what I find interesting. Like, what is the child, specifically?
What is the child? Yeah, that's the question. What is the child?
Exactly.
Child.
Could it be hinting at another,
Yeah, but it's...
skin?
Yeah, it's... Here's the thing, we don't have that many childs in the game, do we? We have Zoe, who's technically not a child. We have Nunu.
Yes.
But Nunu's Psyops doesn't feel right. We've got Annie. I think Annie Psyops could work. So, I'm trying to think of any other ones, because we have 150 champions in the game now, by the way.
Yes, we do.
There's a lot of children that we could be referring to. Fizz is often called a child. Take that as you will.
Where are we sending this?
Sending what?
Don't worry.
Okay. But yeah,
Yes.
what else we got for Psyops skins so far? Psyops Ease and Psyops Ease Prestige skin. How do we feel about Prestige skins? I'm particularly not one for it.
I don't care for it.
Nah.
Exactly. I only get Prestige skins for the ones that actually look nice. Like, I got the one for Zara. I actually got most of the KDA ones. I'm only missing Kaiser's.
Akali's good.
Yeah, Akali's was nice, and then they ruined it by getting true damage Akali.
Yeah.
There's always something to ruin it. A good thing.
Yeah, but I mean, Vi and Master Yi are the other two skins we haven't talked about yet for Psyops, and that was my lead going off, telling me I have a key fragment. Nice. So I opened it up so I can look at children.
What?
That was
Good
wrong.
children.
Go to the nearest kindergarten.
Shut up! You're the one that's actually interested in children.
I'm not. That's James Lau.
Wait, what? Who is that?
He legit tried to date one.
Fair
Oh.
enough. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what other childrens we have in this game. Yeah, we talked about Annie. Do we want to count the Yordles? Because they're small enough to be children, so it could be very.
Okay. Like, because they could just reskin one of them as a child for the skin.
And make it a legendary to justify giving it new voice lines.
Yes.
So yeah, I think they're definitely gonna be revisiting Psyops at some point to explain about the child. Maybe there's like some fear, you know the fear plot, like the fear games. You know the plot about those?
Yeah.
About like they impregnated a little.
What?
Alright, do we need to explain the lore about fear to you? Like the main premise behind it?
Or her impregnation, and that's all I need to know.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a horror game where the main villain is like a poor child that was impregnated because they were planning to use her to make psychic soldiers.
Okay.
And then she goes crazy and all that shit, obviously, and then, because it's a horror game. Do we think Psyops might go somewhere down like that in that line?
Someone's gonna get
Okay, so because Sonia's voice line is, I know about the child, I would say that he has a kid who's also psychic, so...
But I think the
There's an
implication here is with the Psyops skins is that they're kind of being held against their will, or they're like genetic soldiers.
Yeah, but you can still have a child between two of those soldiers that is meant to be a secret thing between them.
Okay
So
then.
the whole, how in some of those movies they're like, oh, we had a kid, we need to protect him from the actual organization we're working for, otherwise if they're gonna go batch and turn him into a soldier.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, the only other child I can find, or childlike one, is a Mumu. I mean, yet again, there's also Nah, but that's for Yordles, so...
Yeah.
For 150 champions, we don't really have children, do we?
No.
Zing, to be fair,
They're not really
I
looking to appeal to the pedophile market, are they?
No.
that, and they don't want children to be beaten up on video games.
Oh, you say that,
That's...
but have you ever played a game designed for children? There's surprisingly a large amount of child beating in those.
She's not wrong.
But
Like,
that's an appeal to it.
have
okay?
you ever played Toy Story 3? It actively
point.
encourages you to drop kick effectively children.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, you can play as Buzz Lightyear and drop kick a child.
I don't see the issue with that.
And then
Kick
there's
the
Crash
baby.
Bandicoot. And then there's Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot. I think it's tag team racing.
Oh yeah, and there's children in the go-kart.
In the hub. Yeah, there's children in the hub world, and you get to spin into the children repeatedly with no punishment. There's an awful lot of child beating child games, and it's weird.
It is very weird.
That's a fair point. You may continue.
So yeah, that's your point is invalid, Goki. How you like that? How you like those apples?
Yeah, man, being
They're-
children.
They're very small.
Oh,
A weak.
weak. Anyway, so that's the Psyop skins. Oh yeah, we need to talk about the new champion that still hasn't been revealed yet.
Is that Mira?
Yes.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I thought she would be tied to this new skin line, but she isn't.
No.
And here's the thing. Apparently, after the next patch, Riot Games is gonna be taking a 2-week break before the next patch. So effectively, the next patch is gonna be a month-long patch. So so the next patch after that is the Worlds patch. That's the thing.
Jesus.
So that means on the World patch, we either gonna be getting more Psyop skins, or we're getting more Arctic Ops skins, which will be tying Samara to it.
Or both.
Or both, yeah, that's a pretty good one. But yeah, and with Samara, she's supposed to be she allegedly shares similarities to Katarina and Aurelia, who are both the most annoying mid laners in the game.
At least they gave us a warning this time.
Piss. What do we think Samara's kit's gonna be like then, if she's allegedly close to Katarina and Aurelia?
What's the similarities between them?
No, it doesn't specify.
No, the similarities between both of the characters she's meant to be.
Well, to
similar
begin
to.
with, I think the Katarina similarity is supposed to come in the fact that she's supposed to be like a diving kind of assassin type, despite being a marksman. Her tied kit is designed about she goes in, she tries to do as much damage as possible before dying, and then she gets out just before she dies, because that's what Katarina kind of does. Until she builds fucking Gunblade and just survives every single interaction.
Yes. That makes sense.
But the thing is, apparently Samira is going to be tied to the Order of the Black Rose. I presume you haven't really brushed up on your league lore, have you?
No.
Black Rose is effectively an order. It's not even an order of assassins. They're based in Demacia to begin with, and their leader is LeBlanc.
Ah.
The Black Rose is all about they're sort of spies, but they aren't. They have no allegiance, I believe. They kind of just do whatever they want and kind of change history in their way. Oh my god, there's a weird one about when Java the Fourth went to a battle, but there's a lot of hinting in that story that Java the Fourth actually isn't Java the Fourth. It's LeBlanc being Java the Fourth.
Ah.
So that's what I mean. They kind of LeBlanc takes turns into other people and kind of influences history, events of other countries, including. I think it's sort of implied that they're the one that kind of helps Swain get into power. And Swain's the current ruler of Demacia.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
So, and apparently Samara is going to be tied to the Black Rose. Which is interesting, because right now the only one that really represents the Black Rose is LeBlanc, and I think Cassiopeia? I think Cassiopeia is tied to that. Not sure. But I'm interested to find out more about Noxus and all that.
Yeah.
Alright. I think that's all the league news.
We did it. Yeah, Bono seemed fuck.
Bono Sena. Bono Sena.
I just quoted Dora the Explorer. My life is a shamble.
Yes, it is. I am now gonna make a lot of unnecessary noise. Actually, I don't think this is picking up on my recording software. If not, I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna open this chest. Aha! Ah, El Macho Mundo.
I win.
I'm gonna keep that one.
I win. Okay. So is that everything for today?
We can always talk about manga now in anime.
We'll save it for next week.
Oh, there's nothing much on this episode. This episode is just... We're 49 minutes in.
49
Well,
minutes.
50 on 50 on mine. So
Yeah, but you
I just
started
got
earlier
here.
than mine. Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about anime and manga for a bit. Because I felt like it.
Alright.
okay.
Okay.
What do I want to talk about then?
Who wants to go first?
Don't make it okay. Go okay. Don't just say we're gonna talk about anime and manga and not fucking start.
What? I've been talking for the last 20 minutes. Let me get a drink of water first.
No.
Yeah, but you don't chuck out a subject and basically say now try and
Haven't
think
you
of
guys
something.
been reading anything recently? Like, Jesus.
No, because I'm mainly up to date with everything, and I've kind of been just watching Steins Gate at the moment.
Okay, fine. You know what I'm going to talk about then? We're going to talk about Bucky.
Baki?
I am not up to date with Baki at all.
We're not
Don't-
talking about Bucky Doe,
me.
because I hate fucking Bucky Doe. We're talking about Bucky, son of Ogre.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm not up to date with it, you bastard.
I'm yelling
You
for
haven't read a series from all the way from, like, the late 2000s.
Let me think.
Yamate.
There's
Oh.
There's a lot. Hang on.
Oh my god.
I gotta find my list. You know what? No, just continue. Okay, so what are we talking about with Baki then?
Okay, mainly because I want to talk about how, like, good Bucky, son of Ogre is compared to the rest of the Bucky series. Because I think Son of Ogre is just a really good, like, title to read if you don't want to read everything that came before Bucky. Because
Yeah.
Son of Ogre, I can read that over and over again. And that was, like, the first Bucky thing I read, and it got me into Bucky. And then I read all the previous works, and I'm like, the previous works not that interesting. Son of Ogre
No.
is kind of like the perfect amount of weirdly absurd. Because you kind of get Bucky when he's at his strongest, but not he's like almost at his strongest. So you still get that development part, but he's still really strong. So you still get the fights against these really strong people, and that whole entire run of that series has a really good climatic battle at the end, which I like. And then in between it, you have weird shit like fucking Bucky kidnapping the president so he can go to prison. No jokes, he does this because he wants to fight the second strongest man on the world that isn't his father. By the way, that guy is called Biscuit. His name is Biscuit Oliver.
I like his name.
And he's pretty much the big boss of this prison, and he has his lover there, Maria. But the thing is, Maria is just really absurdly fat. Like she's like a beanbag of fat.
Okay.
And then it's like he's only decided to become absurdly strong, just so he can carry around Maria.
Huh.
And oh my god. And then, it's just really weird, that whole entire arc. And then there was the arc where it's like, yeah, we found this caveman frozen in ice, and his name, we called him Pickle. And now we're gonna have an arc where Pickle just fights a bunch of all these other fighters we have. Like, that arc was, despite how weird it is, because, you know, they're fighting a fucking prehistoric man. Right? The thing is, like, it's actually still a really good character development arc, because, you know, a lot of two characters loses their limbs against this guy to begin with.
What the hell?
Like, one loses a leg, the other one loses his arm, because he uses, like, a really weird technique, because he does karate. And then he ends up infusing it with, like, Chinese kung fu, so he uses his... Pretty much, he learns how to use his body like a whip. So, because it's hard to explain, but he ends up absolutely fucking up his arm when he does it. And it's really weird. But then that arc ends, and then the guy who loses his leg, he's like one of the best guys at Kung Fu, by the way. He's like, I'm gonna take up boxing. So there's this whole mini arc where he takes up boxing. He does boxing because he wants to prove Chinese Kung Fu is better than boxing.
Uh-huh.
And then for some reason, that mini arc ends with it teasing like, yeah, he's now gonna fight Usain Bolt, because in this world, Usain Bolt decided to become a boxer. Yeah, it's oh my god.
Is he done yet?
No, I'm not done yet, because then I need to talk about Bucky Doe, and Bucky Doe is a pile of fucking shit. Because you know what they're doing, Bucky Doe?
What?
They decided, you know, we're gonna clone the legendary swordsman Musashi, so everyone can have a fight on him.
What?
Yeah, that's the whole arc of Bucky Doe, and I hate it.
Okay.
The clone the legendary swords. You know, Ethan, would you come back if you talk about Echo of Ragnarok?
Oh yes, that's something I can talk about.
Okay,
Also,
good. Okay.
The only reason I quit out, I left was because this would be the second time hearing your long explanation of what Baki Sunburger is. And no offense, Zane, I don't like listening to long talks about stuff
About
twice in a
Baki.
row.
Yes. Okay. I don't remember talking about so ogre to someone. Anyway, alright, so
Oh no. We went to do photography, and you were basically going through the entire trip in the car, and it was only the only thing you were speaking for the most of the trip.
oh yeah, I remember this now. Yeah. Oh.
So that's why I dipped, not because it's
Okay.
boring or anything.
Anyway,
it's just like I'm not
fair
listening
enough,
to it
fair
twice.
Fair enough. Okay, alright, you know what we can do then? We can talk about
Record
Record
for
of
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Yes! I still haven't caught up. I think I'm missing out on like 2 to 3 chapters.
That's fine.
That's basically the. Okay, so if you're 3 chapters behind, you missed like the next 2 chapters are basically nothing.
Okay,
It's
good. Alright,
hinting
we're
at
safe.
It's basically just those 2 chapters are basically just hinting at the fact that there might be an enemy within the gods' side. who's helping the humans.
Buddha. I like how they predict Buddha, by the way. He looks like
Oh,
he looks like an American rapper, and I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, I like his outfit. It's really.
and one
Yeah.
of the guys has a fish gun.
yes, he does.
It's just,
This
I'm
is fish gun.
fucking hell.
Yeah, and so literally the next 2. Oh, wait. I think the next 2 chapters are just like basically back to the fight again, which
that's good.
hasn't really been that adventful. Like, it's pretty generic fighting at that point. So, yeah, nothing too heavy plot wise. Like, I'm not gonna say exactly what happens because
Yeah, because I haven't caught up.
but like at the same time, it's like it's not like you haven't not catching up right now. You haven't missed much.
I mean, there's a simple way to describe it.
So
Well,
anyway, do we? I have a question because I presume all of us here has read Record of Ragnarok.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Out of all the Valkyries we have seen so far, which one would you take on a date?
Ooh. Hang on, let me bring up the wiki because I can't remember all of them off by heart or their names.
You don't have to go by names. You just can go, the one that paired up with this guy so far. Because I don't even remember. I don't remember the name of mine.
Even that is.
The one I would take on a date is Viden's Valkyrie.
Hang on.
Right.
Hang on.
Yeah, the Sumo
Is that
wrestler.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Okay, I can see why.
Yes, big, tall, muscular, and still sensitive. My sort of girl.
Don't you like Amazoness type of a ladies?
What? You saying she isn't?
Fair enough.
I like how I said that with just sheer utter anger in my voice. Like you saying I'm wrong?
I'd take Rand Grizz, which is Lubu's partner.
Oh. Poor thing, she's dead.
She is dead, but
You can bang in the afterlife.
is there an afterlife after that?
No.
Oh my god, I just saw this. Oh, you want to hear this news article that I just
What?
read? Joe Biden, it would be an insult to my dead son for everyone to have healthcare.
What?
By the way, Joe Biden is one of the presidential candidates in the run right now.
Jesus Christ.
He's still better than Trump, by the way.
Yes, he is, but still, that statement.
And someone put a meme with this, but it says you can stop the trolley at any time, but doing so would disrespect Joe Biden's dead son.
What?
Because it's the trolley, you know, the trolley dilemma, where the trolley's running over all these people, and then you can stop it at any time, but there's a catch to it. That's what it is.
It literally is that, like, Joe Biden's son or the other people.
Either disrespect this man's dead son, or we just, you know, save a lot of people by giving them free healthcare.
I know which one I would choose.
Free healthcare in a nutshell.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
It's worth it.
Do we? I don't have any other questions for Record of Ragnarok, so.
Actually, I did give my answer. I forgot her name, her exact name. Brionide?
Brionide, is that the lead Valkyrie?
The lead, yeah, the first Valkyrie you meet.
Oh,
long hair.
okay. I thought you would go for the wussy.
What? Mean?
Fine.
Wait, which one? Who was the partner again?
The youngest one.
No.
Okay. Oh, okay.
No, Zane, we're not like you, okay?
Well, excuse me. You're the one that's always talking about how much he wants to fuck a child. All right, shut up.
I don't.
You
It's
lolicon.
Zane.
Anyway.
I have.
All right, we get it, lolly.
Mate, I said every time with child.
Okay, before I do this, I need to double check. Have I talked to you about Kengan Asura at any point?
Talking about what?
Kengan Asura. It's the last one I want to bring up in terms of manga and anime. Oh, actually, in terms of manga.
Hang on.
It has a Netflix run of the anime.
That's probably where I heard it from.
Yeah, don't watch that. I hate that.
Continue.
Kengan
Continue.
Asura. I've been rereading it again for the 5th time since I discovered it, and I'm still in love with it. I'm still finding new details to like about it. That's the thing. Because for me,
Fair enough.
Kengan Asura is like Bucky, except the fights are not as good as Bucky. It makes up for it in character. Because, like, in Bucky, the characters are all like, oh, we're just generic strongman. We don't really have a character arc. In Kengan Asura, everyone feels unique, and they all have their own character arcs and their own little character interactions. Like, there's a guy who he sees himself as a weakling, so he goes out of his way to take down the strongest people, because he's like, well, I want to be strong myself. So he goes out and takes down the strongest people. Because the big part of Kengan Asura was, well, the main point of Kengan Asura's run, because there's the sequel, which is Kengan Omega, is, it's a torment arc. So he ends up first taking down someone else's fighter, because I need to explain the concept of Kengan, don't I?
Yes.
Okay, so Kengan Asura pretty much is like, pretty much all these merchants in Japan, they sort out all their business deals and all that by hiring fighters to represent them in Kengan matches. And then whoever's fighter wins that match, they get their rights to that thing. And it's usually really ridiculous stuff, like the rights to build a new building that's worth $10 billion. Because they're all really wealthy businessmen. And then a big part, like, when the tournament comes in, that's because our main character's boss, Mr. Nogi, wants to become the new, like, he wants to become the new chairman who's in charge of the Kengan Association, which is the one that organizes all these fights. So, they have this giant tournament arc for that. So, whoever's company fighter wins that has the, right to become president of the chairman. And then we have all these interesting characters and all these other weird things. the thing is, what I like about it is, yet again, it comes down to characters. Our main character isn't who you think it would be. Like, when you think fighting manga, who do you think the main character would be?
Spiky hair.
The underdog.
Wrong! He's a 50-year-old man who's actually the manager to the main fighter.
I like it.
Like they set him up as like he's this guy. He's 50 years. He's over 50. He's in his 50s. His wife has left him. His son is a shut-in. The other one has turned delinquent. His life is a complete mess. And then he meets the main fighter, the other main character, Takeda Oma. And then he ends up becoming really close friends with Oma. He ends up seeing him as a son. And then it's kind of builds up their relationship between those two. Because Takeda Oma's whole entire thing is that he wants to hunt down the guy who killed his master, very generic arc and all that. But as it goes on, he finds out about the truth. He starts to regain his memories because he lost those, and then he gets over the fact that he wants revenge. Because another big thing is he has a secret technique which is actually tied into like a second layer of the main story, which is carried on to Kengan Asura. He has a technique called Advance, and it's pretty much Advance just pumps up how much blood, like how much work the heart does. So he's effectively shortening his lifespan because he's overclocking his heart in order to be able to move faster, effectively, to do more damage.
So Demon Slayer.
Yeah, so by the time like halfway through the tournament arc, he finally goes, oh shit. He finally finds the truth behind the technique. He finds out where the technique originates from. And he's like, well, shit, I'm gonna die soon. So he just takes that time to he becomes more of a character. Because before that, Takeda Oma is effectively just a guy who only cared about getting revenge. But then he becomes more calmer, he actually gets a little bit more funnier, and that's what I like. And then there's all these other characters on top of that. Like, there's the 4 idiots. And it's like, they're all fucking idiots, obviously. Like, all of them are like, well, 3 of them are womanizing idiots. One is actually like the straight guy of the group. He's just been associated with these people. And I just find that really funny. And then, yet again, there's like other very interesting characters. Like, there is, I can't remember their names. Let's see. There's the pro wrestler, something Jun. And, like, he's so interesting to watch, because his whole entire thing is, he doesn't guard. Because he believes, as a wrestler, you don't have the right to block. You only have the right to avoid damage.
Uh-huh.
So he has interesting ways to avoid taking... So he has ways where he can take the most minimal amount of damage. Like, if someone goes for an eye poke, at the last second, he would move his face up so it would miss his eyes and end up jabbing his cheeks instead. It's interesting. Like, someone's coming charging at him, he would, like, position his chest downwards so he still takes the damage, but he ends up giving them a concussion instead. So, again, it has a lot of very interesting fighting styles and, yet again, characters, interactions, and all that. And then, yet again, going into Kengan Omega, which, well, I really don't like Kengan Omega because it kind of undoes the main ending of Kengan Asura. Kengan Omega, it kind of builds up on all these plot threads Kengan Asura had, like, from, like, a hidden organization known as the Worm, and then all... I need to stop talking, I just realized, because Ethan stops talking as well.
He's dead.
Yeah, we're just gonna say that was impressive how, like, with little input from us, you were able to keep talking. Just...
Yeah.
Be happy it wasn't One Piece. If it was One Piece, we would be here for a whole hour.
Alright, here we go.
Please, someone, say something about something they've read or watched today. I want to start talking.
I started reading Vinland Saga.
Oh,
That
okay,
helps.
there we go. Oh, talk about Vinland Saga. I need a break.
If you don't know what... Okay, Vinland Saga got an anime recently, but I don't know why they gave it an anime. Because it's like 120 chapters in the manga. And these chapters are like 28, 26 like pages long. but if you don't know what Vinland Saga is, it's based on Vikings, but before they were called Vikings. You know, they kind of predated that name. And it's talked about all the intricacies of what they called, how their life was, and all that. Like, it's sort of like a historical look, but also like over-the-top anime on top of that. And where the name comes in, Vinland. Vinland is effectively what I think. Well, it implies it's Russia. Because like, so the whole
Bloody
goal
Russians.
of the I actually don't know what the goal of the main character is right now. Because he wants to kill the guy on the ship he's part of right now because he killed his dad. But
Okay.
at the same time, he has there's kind of a father-son relationship between them anyway.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird. And I also have no idea how Vinland plays into this yet.
Okay then. I might get into that because that's about Vikings, isn't it? Wait, you said that shit.
Yes. Yes, it's anime. It's like Vikings with that slice of anime combat a little bit.
Yes.
Not too like anime that it's like unrealistic, but anime enough that it looks nice.
Okay then. No, I'll have to do that. What else? I tried to get into Hunter x Hunter again for like the third time, and I actually made less progress than I did on the second time.
Listen, I can't even touch Hunter x Hunter. I know people love that show, but
I don't see how
something about
people
it.
like it. It's like every time they bring out gourmet hunters, like here's some gourmet hunters. I'm like, man, I want to read Torko right now.
Guts.
Thank you.
Guts.
I love Torko.
Anyway, we should start ending this episode because we've gone on for like an hour now.
But the thing is, I got like 2 more things I want to talk about.
Zane, no, just save it
No,
for next week.
no, I
Save
need.
it, save it.
But I will
Keep
forget
it in
about
your
it.
plans.
We forgot to talk
I'm-
about FAs last week.
No, no, we're done. We're done.
Good
I'm
night.
done. Good night.
All right, we're going to bed. Ethan, let's go.
What do you
Good night.
It's
We're
5
both
o'clock
dipping.
over there.
We'll both
Doesn't
sleep.
matter. We're dipping. We're dipping.
What? Okay, alright, fine. Next week we'll talk about Gangster, if I remember, and Silver Spoon, which is by the Full Metal Alchemist guy.
Oh, I like that manga.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Well, look forward to that.
Yes,
alright, good night,
watch the
folks.
anime for
Yeah.
Silver Spoon, at least you two. It's actually really good.
I'll,
slice
yeah,
of life.
I'll actually give it a watch.
Good. Alright.
Might as well.
See
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
Before you go, Ethan.
No, on podcast. We stopped the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're stopping the podcast now. I haven't stopped recording it.
Well, all right, we're done.
You
Bye.
wanna-
Oh, we're going.
We're done.
Bye.